Hi everyone, myself Vamshi Krishna. In this session, we are going to discuss about how to deploy Spring Boot microservice application with PostgreSQL database. I have written all the steps in detail in my GitHub page under the Kubernetes repository. We will go step by step with the README file. Okay, let us get started with the implementation steps. First, we need to have Git, Maven, Docker, and EKS cluster. Let me show you one by one. We have Maven, and then we have Git, we have Docker, and we have kubectl get nodes. We have a 2-node EKS cluster as well. That means our prerequisites has been set. Let us get started with the implementation steps. Clone the code from GitHub. cd kubernetes git full, it's already up to date. Under Kubernetes repository, we have Spring Boot PostgreSQL repository. The first step is we need to build Maven project so that we will get the Maven artifacts. Execute this command mvn clean install -d skip test equal to true. Build is success. Next, build the Docker image using docker build -t. Docker image is built. If you want, you can verify. This is the Docker image. Next thing, log into Docker by using your Docker Hub username and password. I already logged into the Docker. Next, as we are connecting to Postgres DB, we need to have username and password for the PostgreSQL database. For that, you need to create a secrets file. If you execute this username and password, you will get base 64 encode values. These are the ones. For this, we have written a secrets file. Let me show you the secret file. Postgres secret. This is my file. If you compare both, this is username Postgres admin, this is password Postgres password, which is admin123. This Postgres secrets is perfect. Now, along with Postgres secret, we need to have persistence volume and persistence volume storage as well. Persistence volume is nothing but a cluster wide resource that we can use to store data in a way that it persists beyond the lifetime of a pod. Persistence volume claim is a request for storage similar to how a pod requests compute resources. A persistence volume claim provides an abstraction layer to underlying storage. For example, an administrator could create a number of persistence volumes that can later be bound to one or more persistence volume claims. We have persistence volume claims as well, which is under storage, which contains persistence volume and persistence volume claim as well. Okay, we have both. Let me create these secrets and persistence volume. Postgres secrets is created and Postgres persistence volume and storage is also created. Volume and this one. Next thing, we need to do PostgreSQL deployment, and in the deployment, if you observe, we have mentioned the Postgres user and password which we created from Postgres secrets. Okay, we are referring from environment variable and which is taking secret key reference, and this we will get from Postgres secrets which we defined some time back. Let us execute the deployment. Let us execute the deployment, and then you need to expose the deployment as a service. Just expose the service. Now Postgres DB is up and running. If you want, you can see kubectl get pod kubectl get pods. This is the Postgres pod. You can connect to the pod as well, just to make sure your deployment is perfect. Kubectl execute -it interactive terminal. This is your pod name --space bash. From here psql -u username. Username is nothing but Postgres admin. Enter. We are able to connect to this. Okay, let us get exit from this pod. Our Postgres is done. Next we need to create a config map for the host name. Run this command. Now host name config is also created. Now we have DB name and the username, password and host also. We can get started with the Spring Boot deployment and service. We have the Spring Boot deployment, Spring Boot deployment YAML. In the Spring Boot deployment YAML, I need to mention my image name. Okay, this is my image name. Vamsi Tech Tutorials. You can cross compare using Docker images as well, which is there in your local machine, or else you can cross check in the remote repository of Docker Hub as well. This is the image name which we mentioned. And then we need username, password and host name. For that, username and password are coming from secrets file and host name is coming from config map. Okay, we have secrets as well as config map. Let us do the deployment. Now the deployment is done successfully. If you want, you can see kubectl get deployment. We have the Postgres deployment up and running. Now what you can do is you need to expose the deployment as a service so that you will get a load balancer URL and we can access that application from outside network as well. For that, Spring Boot service. This is the service. If you see, we are mentioning the type as load balancer and the port number as 8080. Okay, let us expose this deployment as a service. Okay, now our service is also done. Now this will create a load balancer. Kubectl get service and our service is Spring Boot PostgreSQL, which is in pending state. Just wait, it will create a load balancer URL. It is in pending. Let me delete the other service. Kubectl get pods. Postgres is running and still this is in pending. Now this came. Spring Boot PostgreSQL came and this is the external IP. Now go to AWS Management Console and you can wait for the load balancer to come in service. Once the load balancer is in service, we can access the application. Go to EC2 and we are in US West 2. Go to load balancers. In the load balancer, see the status, it's not in service yet. Okay, still the load balancer is out of service. We need to wait until this becomes in service. Okay, one became in service. Slowly both will become in service. Okay, now both are in service. Now what you can do is, you can get this load balancer URL, go to Postman, click on post, create a new method. This is the request URL, colon 8080. In the code, what I mentioned is, go to the source code, src main Java, in the controller, question controller. What is the question controller? First one is slash questions. Okay, what is the API? Slash questions is the API, and we need to pass question object. Okay, the question object is nothing but this one. We need to pass question ID, title, and description. Okay, I have given the sample one here. Copy title and description and say slash questions. Okay, go to Postman slash QEESH questions, header raw JSON. Okay, press enter. I am giving title as which country you belongs to. Description I am giving as I am from India. Click on send. Now the question is created and we got the ID as well. Now next thing what I will do is, I will try to retrieve the question back. Okay, copy the URL, and in the browser mention slash questions. This is the get API. Okay, we got the questions back. Okay, this is the question ID and this is the title, this is the description. Next, in the similar way, what we had is, we have answers controller as well. Okay, for a given question, what is the answer? Go back to controller, and in the answer controller, you can see one more API called question ID, answers. This is a get. But before get, we need to post the data. For that, questions, question ID, answer, right? For that, the API is slash questions slash question ID is 100 slash answers. This is the one. I mentioned the URL also here. And I will say text as I am Indian. You can say 1000. This is 1000. You can verify here 1000. For question 1000, the answer is text. I am an Indian. Click on send. Okay, text has been sent. Now from browser slash questions slash 1000 slash answers. For question 1000, what are the answers? This is the answer, right? Okay, answer spelling is wrong. ANSWERS, answers. Okay, this is perfect. We got the question, and for a given question 1000, we got the answers as well. Whatever the controllers are there, we were able to test both. Post is for saving the data, get is for retrieving the data back. We have seen how to create a question and how to create a answer for that particular question, and we have saved them and we have retrieved them back successfully. Overall, we are able to access our Spring Boot application perfectly. Once your process is done, you can do the cleanup process like this. You can delete everything. Perfect. Overall, we were able to do Spring Boot and Postgres deployment successfully. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.